One of the very first acts of the current administration has been vindicated after nearly a year and a half. Today, the Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of the president's travel ban. The left reacted in its typically restrained way. The New Republic tweeted, quote, "If it wasn't clear before, it should be now. Democrats should prepare to pack the Supreme Court." David Tafuri is a lawyer and was a foreign policy advisor to Barack Obama's presidential campaigns. He joins us now. David, thanks for coming on. So here you have a ban that didn't mention Muslims, that did not restrict immigration from the biggest Muslim countries, that did restrict immigration from non-Muslim countries like North Korea, and yet somehow is a Muslim ban. Can we just admit now that that was probably the dumbest talking point ever, and that it was a lie?
You know, Tucker, I was on your show exactly 1 year ago today to argue about this with you. 1 year ago, the Supreme Court issued its decision that overturned the halt on the ban. That was the second ban. A lot has changed since then, but in some ways nothing has changed. Now, the Supreme Court has made its final ruling on the third ban. Now, that third ban is different from the second ban and much different from the first ban. But in the end, there are many who still believe that the purpose of the ban was to ban Muslims from coming to the country. And there is some support for that. So what I think is that this is still really bad policy for the country. There are some good legal arguments now that the Supreme Court took hold of, and the majority, a very thin majority, by the way, 5-4, used to rule in favor of the ban and to support the ban. However, this is still bad policy because we are still banning lots of Muslims. We're still banning lots of Muslims who are not a security threat, and we're not banning many of the Muslims, like some Muslims from some countries who actually have engaged in terrorist acts here in the United States.
So how would we know, for example, if an immigrant is from Afghanistan, Somalia, Syria? Do we trust those governments to keep close track of the records of the people who are coming here? That's a rhetorical question. The answer is obviously not. So why would we even take any risk at all, since we don't know, we can't know, we never will know exactly who they are?
Well, obviously, the administration thinks it knows. That's why it's taken the time to ban people from certain countries. It thinks it can figure out what country a certain person is from.
But don't we know, can we just agree that if you're coming here from Somalia, it doesn't have a government functional enough to keep track of who you are and to pass on any applicable or relevant records about you? It's a dysfunctional place. Same with Afghanistan. Same, I would argue, Syria, under the conditions of the civil war right now. So, like, who would disagree with that? Do we trust the government of Somalia to tell us the truth?
Actually, even the Trump administration disagrees with you about Somalia. When the Trump administration
they may, but I'm not. But they're not here. I'm asking. But hold on, I'm asking you. What do you think of that? I mean, do you trust the government of Somalia to vet for us the people from Somalia who come here? That's insane, right? And I don't care what the Trump administration thinks. It's obviously crazy.
Well, I mean, we have to trust somebody, right? So when DHS and the experts in DHS and the State Department did a review, but when they did a review, they concluded, actually this administration concluded, that Somalia did have some procedures in place that warranted it not to be in the ban. Then it was put back in the ban.
Wait a second. Why would? But hold on. Why would I trust some bureaucrat at the State Department with my country and my children? How would we know? Let's be specific. Let's be honest here. So the State Department, I don't care whose administration is telling us, no, don't worry about it. We trust the government of Somalia. Why shouldn't I laugh at them when they say something so self-evidently stupid and dishonest to me?
Couple reasons. First of all Americans do deserve to be secure, and we need to put in place things to protect us. But with respect to Somalia, any immigrant that's going to seek a visa to come here, they are going to go through a review process, and those review processes generally work. And our people here who review a Somalian applying for a visa, they don't trust the Somalian government. They look at the documents, they do vetting, they do an interview.
Do we have a lot of people on the? How many people on the ground? This is also stupid. We don't have anybody on the ground in Somalia. Honestly, how many State Department employees are vetting the many hundreds of thousands of Somali refugees who've come to this country? How many are there in refugee camps in Kenya or in Somalia? 8?
That's a great question.
I mean, honestly, do we have thousands of them? Yeah, it is.
Actually, the interviews don't take place in Somalia for that reason. The Somalians who want a visa, they have to go to Djibouti. So they have to travel to Djibouti. They have to go to the U.S. Embassy in Djibouti, and they have to go to the review process right there.
So, but we can't vet any of it because Somalia is not a functioning country. So actually, none of it's vetted. It's all make-believe, and bureaucrats under all these administrations are lying to us, and we're just sort of nodding like sheep. Oh, I'm sure it's fine. It's not fine, actually, at all.
Well,
and
the statistics show it is fine.
Because we've had 30 years. No, actually, they don't show that at all.
No American has been killed by a Somalian who came to the United States.
Right, and how much money to Somali terror groups Al-Shabaab have, has flown from Minneapolis in the last 15 years? Anyway, we're out of time, unfortunately. But if you can tell me how we're vetting these people, I'd be assured to know. David Tafuri, great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.